Jennifer, and my pen name is Moonsia.
Today, we will be accompanied by Moonsia, a digital nomad comic artist for the South Korean publisher Webtoon. During our interview, Moonsia will allow us the opportunity to peer into her day-to-day life as an artist who consistently posts content for a large audience.
I was born in New Jersey, actually, and then I was raised in Taiwan. Later, I studied in Vancouver for 1 year, and then I got a job in New York as a game artist. And later on, like stories happen, and then I decided to become a comic artist full time.
So you've kind of been like all over the place.
Yeah, I am. I've been always moving around.
Moonsia has been working professionally as an artist since she graduated in high school, but has been working as a webcomic artist since 2016.
When I was 13, I remember I was gonna build a website just to put my artwork on it. But then I was like, I'm not sure if I should put my real name because nobody really does that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, at least in Taiwan, we don't. We always made up a name, so people cannot trace us. But also, it's for fun. So I just made up a random name. It was a location of a story I was writing at the time, which the story makes no sense. So I'm not drawing it.
Aww.
but I like the name. Yeah, I just used it. But it was kind of random. It was just I just grabbed whatever I have right next to me, basically.
For those who listen to the interview and don't know about your comic, what is The Witch in the Bowl about?
It's about a world where they're human and witches living together. It's about a guy who hated witches, but he got turned into a bull one day. A witch came in and saved him, and they actually become friends, and they're trying to break his curse. So they went on a journey, and then slowly they got to know each other a lot more on just personal level, not really who they are before that. So the witch can summon constellations from the sky. So that's why there's so many constellation related stuff in my comics. So we make these episodes before the launch. So later on we have a better life balance, so we don't always have to draw one episode per week. Yeah, but then once this booster episodes, they will be finished one day, and then you have to create one episode per week, and that's more hectic. It's I will work from Friday morning till Wednesday night.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's when I finish the booster episode. And if I have the booster episodes, my week normally will go from Monday to Friday, and I'll try to work within 40 hours for each episode. And then in between seasons, right now I'm currently having is I'll take some breaks, and this is the time I actually go out and explore things. I do something like a few days of hiking if I have to, things that will take days, for my travel. This is the time that I actually start writing, so I wouldn't write the whole day unless I have something in mind already that if I feel inspired enough to write out, and I'll just sit down and I write and see how long it takes, see how long the flow takes, because sometimes it's just 10 minutes and it's done. I have no more ideas. So it really depends. Between seasons, it's not something to be forced. Just kind of have to go with flow. Yeah. There's a limit of time that I have to get the story done, and then set up another schedule. So I probably will do a week and a half and then create one episode for later on, so I have booster episodes.
The way it kind of sounds like you like to set up your week kind of in the like instead of like the typical quote unquote work week is kind of like Monday through Friday, right? But your work week kind of
Yeah.
sounds a little bit shifted, which is interesting.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The episode release date is on Thursday,
Hmm.
and then to submit the episode is on Wednesday night. Because at Wednesday late night, the episode will launch on, well, I mean like the US time, right? So
Right.
it will launch on the platform. So that's already like a just I don't know. I think that's more like an emergency situation that I have to work till like Wednesday night. But normally, if I can, I'll work till Tuesday and I'll stop. Yeah. But then it means I will like I missed out a lot of parties with my friends and a lot of like weekend excursions. And so when I'm free, it's actually on Wednesday and Thursday. And sometimes my friends are nice enough to take work time off to spend time with me. So
Oh, well, that's very
appreciate
sweet.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sweet. I have really amazing friends.
That's
They
what I'm
just
looking
support
for.
me throughout life.
What places have you traveled to?
I know I've been to at least 22 countries, but I'm actually not counting. Yeah, I don't know why I don't count. A lot of people count them. Sometimes I just lose track.
It's about the journey, you know?
It's about the journey, and actually I travel very slowly. Like each country I stay at least 2 weeks, and then till like sometimes 3 months. Like Croatia, it's like one of my favorite. I stayed there like over 3 months, and twice. One time was like 6 weeks, and also Portugal. Actually, Portugal is probably my favorite country. It's hard to like say like if I like Croatia more or Portugal. So recently it's all like Mediterranean countries for me, just because like I will also want to get like references throughout like these countries around the Mediterranean Sea, because that's where the comic is inspired on.
Has there been other instances where you take inspiration off of your travels to build off of your comics?
It's funny for me to say, like I would say the US. So remember, I don't grew up in the US.
Right.
Yeah, so I was very much inspired by like the US the 50s and 60s era.
Ah.
So my first comic that I released online, it straight translates as Never Heard of the Sound of the Tide. It's probably too long for the English title, but anyway. So basically that time period is set at 50s, like late 50s, early 60s. Yeah, so I have like all these dress with like, you know, like the waist is tiny and like the skirts are puffy. Yeah, and people have a lot of hair. And also I have another story that I was writing was actually inspired by New York, the Prohibition era.
Oh.
So I was very into like the Prohibition era, like everything about it really, like the mafias, the speakeasy,
like 1920s,
fashion. Yeah, it's just everything. It's just so many things I like about it.
Yeah, it's a really interesting aesthetic for sure.
Yeah, but that's a comic that I never get a chance to actually. I put a lot of time in it, but I never really get a chance to pitch it.
Do you think you might work on that comic in the future?
I might, but maybe not anytime soon. I think after The Witch and the Bull, might be something else.
Oh, do you have something else in mind?
Oh, I have a lot of things in mind. Trust me, I don't even know like which one to go for. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. There's probably so many ideas in that head, you know?
Yeah, I have so many ideas, and then I think to decide what to draw next, I will actually decide based on who my readers are. Because if they're already reading The Witch and the Bull, what I'll do after the whole series ended, maybe I'll see like how people react to it and decide what's the next story for my readers, because I know I definitely have something they're looking for, but I want to make sure I bring it up in the right time. Not suddenly I'm not going to draw like a horror story.
Yeah, of course.
But I might one day.
One day, but maybe not soon. Or maybe it is soon, because maybe the audience does want that. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah, so I'll see.
What led you to create The Witch in the Bowl?
I think that time my whole idea was like I need to pitch something to Webtoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do something I cannot do in Taiwan. Because like people have like different priorities when it comes to like creating a comic. Like they're more strict about like, oh, I have to know like this thing will sell. Like people will read it. Yeah, so like in Taiwan, like you're more worried about if one of your characters is an animal.
It's a little too controversial, maybe.
Yeah, and then but like their point is like, oh, people won't be so interested in animal stories like Disney. I'm like, we grew up watching Disney anyway. I'm sure we all enjoyed it.
Yes.
But anyway, and I thought like, you know what? If I cannot do animal characters in Taiwan, I want to do animal characters in the US. And I actually really like animals in general. So I was like, you know, I want to have like some animal characters in this next story. So I thought about like just like a bad like merchant, like he's like lazy and then like he treats people really badly, and then he got turned into an ox. So like in like Chinese folklore, often ox is seen as hardworking and modest. So like I was like, oh, maybe like the merchant like got turned into an ox, and then he works hard, and then he finally like learns his lesson. But then I thought like that's a really basic thing. Like I don't want to just create that. I also wanted like add in different elements. So I was looking at. I thought about. So I used to study in Vancouver. I told you about that.
Right.
Game design, and I had. We actually wrote a lot of different video game concepts. So one of the concepts that I wrote for one of my projects was basically about a game that's like you're sailing a silver boat, which is Argo, on the Milky Way, and then there's like a girl and she just shoots on the stars and then lit up the stars individually in the universe, and then she connects the constellations and bring the universe alive. So that was like the concept of the game. So I thought, oh, maybe I'll incorporate that into the story that I have in mind and change the ox to a bull and then make it Taurus. And also, I happen to have a lot of Taurus friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like most of my friends, like close ones, are either Taurus or Leo.
I think it's also very fitting for the character, because when you think of bull, you think like stubbornness.
I was just traveling in Croatia, and I was like, then whatever the next story is, I wanted like that, like the background needs to be like has like Croatian like scenery. But then like later I expanded, I was like, it needs to be like everything in the Mediterranean. Yeah, and so I started travel around that region as well, like to gather references.
I love how you incorporate your travels into your comics.
It's like souvenirs, really.
Oh, that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, because I only travel with a carry-on and a backpack, so I cannot really buy souvenirs. I'll have to ship it home. But like This is another way I can collect memories.
What does it mean for your comic to be a Webtoon original?
I don't know. For me, it's my job. Because I've been doing this even before Webtoon. I was doing it for like 2 years or 3 years, and yeah, I kind of just like pitch it to the editorial team on Webtoon. So I didn't go through the phase of Canvas.
Oh, so you went directly into the featured page. Yeah,
exactly. Because at that time I was like, oh, you know what, I cannot afford to wait. I need this as a job. Yeah.
Webtoons has 2 sections for their webcomics, the Webtoon Originals and the Canvas Webtoons. While anyone can post their webcomic on Canvas and potentially receive income with a big enough fan base, Only Webtoon originals are licensed by Webtoon. Once the comic of an artist becomes a Webtoon original, they are assigned an editor and receive help with marketing their comic. Webtoon original creators also have a structured publishing schedule and are paid directly by Webtoon. Moonsia's comic is one of select Webtoon originals.
Are there any other comics that you've worked on?
Before all of these, there are a lot of like short stories that I entered for like contests. Yeah, they're very short. They're like 16 pages or like 10 pages, stuff like that. Yeah, but they're like normally like a contest, they will have a theme and then you have to come up with a story around that theme and you have to finish within certain pages.
Do you work as an artist full-time?
Webtoon is full-time, yeah. But before, like all my jobs are actually all artist jobs. Before Webtoon and before I was a comic artist in general, I'm a freelancer, but I also do I take care for dogs at my house. Yeah, because I know like just drawing at home like really like demotivates me to go out. So if I do daycare at home and then the dogs will be like, I want to pee, and then I'll just go out and I'll walk a little bit and I'll come back and draw again. So it's like a better balance.
Right. That way you're not just holed in all the time drawing.
Yeah, and people pay me for it. So I'm like, oh, great.
Yes. And it's the perfect way to socialize. What better way to socialize than with dogs?
Yeah, and also I was like, I don't even know I'm gonna live in New York for like the rest of my life. I don't know if I should actually adopt a dog. But then like taking care of other people's dogs seems like a really good option.
On average, how much would you say you make every month?
On average, I would say I mean, for me, like, it's just very comfortable. I mean, it's an amount that really can support you, like, to enjoy life, like how it should be. Like, you can go to nice restaurants, like, once a week. But even then, like, even now, I still, like, live in hostels sometimes. Yeah, just because I want to make friends, but also save some money. So in general, I would say, yeah, you can live in like Manhattan, like comfortably, but not, but you have to spend like also modestly, if that makes sense. You have to be smart about it, but also like it's not like, it will support like your everyday basics. Like your rent is definitely no problem, but this is this is for me, right? Not every artist earns the same. So like Laura Olympus, like Rachel, like I'm sure like she probably have like a better life than me, because it really depends like if how many people buys the fast pass. So I actually live through the fast pass basically. Because I pay my assistant the episode fee basically. Yeah, so there's an episode fee and there are a certain amount. I don't know if it's the same amount for everyone. That's why I don't want to to say it. But yeah, so anyway, like I would pay the episode fee split out to my assistant, and then I'll just take the FastPass revenue so that supports me. But you also have to remember, between seasons, we're not getting anything unless we submit a episode, and then we get the episode fee.
There's like a whole portion of time where you're not even getting any income, huh?
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have to be smart about your money. You have to save at the same time to prepare for the season's gap.
Right.
Or some people can also like take like, other like freelance job. But I want to like just focus on the project itself and also traveling. Yeah. I worked at like different companies before as artists. I worked in animation studios. I worked in video game companies. I even freelance on like pajama patterns.
Pajama patterns?
yeah, like like how pajamas have like really like colorful patterns. I hated it, the people that I was working with, and then so
Oh,
I didn't want to go back anymore. But
that's fair.
it's just not a very good environment, especially I think like I don't know if it's that's like fashion in general.
Mm.
I love the video game industry very, very much.
Would you ever go into the video game industry again?
I would like it to be like say if the Witch in the Bowl like have a video game version of it, and I'd like to sit through
Oh,
that process and maybe join the team and draw something actually.
it would be so exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, what animation studios have you worked for?
Also, this is a very small studio in Taiwan.
Mhm.
There was only 5 people. It currently doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, Taiwan used to be a big outsourced, like, we used to have so many animators and animation studios for outsourcing. And
Mhm.
a lot of, like, Disney films are actually outsourced in Taiwan. And so it's kind of sad, like, seeing that die down.
Yeah.
Like, we still have a couple animation studios, but I don't know if they are actually, like, doing well.
What was it like during your time working there?
Well, it was my first job. I was one person. I was working 5 people's job, and I
Mm.
was getting like the lowest pay there is. But I was enjoying it so much. I thought like the first time I got my salary and me and my friend like so I had my one of my high school friends also got the job, so we were working together. So we were just like we're shouting about it on the street. We're like, oh my gosh, it's my first salary. It's like we're so excited. And then of course like later on I'm just like, you know what, this sucks. I'm like doing 5 people's job.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like there's something more to my life. I need to do more. And then my boss also agrees. He say like, yeah, there's so much potential in you. Like,
Oh,
don't just look in Taiwan. Like, you should look overseas. Like, Taiwan is such a small island. You need to like put your eyes out there, you know.
mhm.
And I was like, he's like, and you actually are not so bad in English. You should try to look for it. Because I tried to look for because I was thinking about going to university, college, and
Mm.
yeah, and like Taiwan doesn't have really good options for me, so I was I found like Vancouver Film School, and it's not a college degree, but I don't really need that. I just need to learn the things I want to learn. I want
Right.
to. The whole point of going to game design is to so I can like get a decent job, but still working on something I enjoy and save money so I can, invest myself so I can like quit someday and then I can just have my savings and become a comic artist because I don't think in the beginning I don't think like being a comic artist can make any money in the beginning. So
That's
the whole like thought about like going to learn something that provides a job for me is because I want to become a comic artist.
so it's
So
all
it's like a
like
big
building up
move.
to your
Yeah,
ultimate
it's
goal.
like my strategy. And I know I love video games, and I almost at one point I was didn't want to become a comic artist anymore because the company I was staying at it was too comfortable. Do you know Zynga?
I am not familiar with Singa.
Do you definitely know Farmville? Do you?
Oh yes, I do know Farmville.
Yeah.
Is that by
So
Zynga?
that's by Zynga. Yeah. They have so many games, and then but although they're not the games that I really dream to work on, but the teams I work with are really really fun people.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like eventually they still shut down the New York office, so
Oh.
that was like the motivation to get me back into reality where I wanted to become a comic artist. I was like, yes, this is great.
Something happened in you and you were like, oh, I need to do my
Yeah,
dream.
it's like yeah. I feel like like having my drink back in my hands again is actually waking up, you know? Yeah. Maybe it's just because like I've been chasing my drink for so long, and then like being in a company that's so comfortable, it just feels like I'm sleeping or something. I don't know.
Right. Like you were
Yeah.
kind of lulled into a sense of security, so you were like, I'm okay here. I'm secure.
Yeah. Exactly. It was a little scary though, because like the thought about like I would never become a comic artist because I'm too comfortable here. Yeah. But thank God they, well, I don't know, like not for other people. Like other
Right.
people were crying, but I was smiling. I was very happy about it. Yeah.
Maybe not at first, but definitely after.
Yeah. Well, at first I was very happy, like when they decide like to shut down the office. I was like, oh yes, yeah. I've been waiting for me to like get out of this job
Yes.
for some other source of like to push me out of it, because I don't know how to say, to quit. Yeah, like I mean, I just didn't have like the guts to say like,
I
oh,
see.
I don't want to do this anymore.
How much time do you spend drawing during the week? Like on average, how many hours do you spend in a week?
So right now I almost only draw when I'm actually drawing the episode. So I think every Saturday till Tuesday, whenever I'm not eating, I would be drawing.
Would you say that working as an artist has brought you closer to art, or would you say that it's kind of become just like a job?
I think it's kind of risky, because I have a feeling like it's slowly becoming just a job. Like now you have to consider more things instead of just one thing, right?
Right.
Before I didn't have to think about, because like the thing about like drawing like short stories, which I was used to, was I have like from point A to point B, and like that's the story. Yeah, but like right now there's like point A to point B, and then point B has to go to point C, and also D and E. So like there's a lot to think about, not just drawing.
There's a whole lot of like plot.
Structure of the story. Like you can have the story can be interesting, but it also has to be structured. And it also every episode has to be interesting enough. Like there are episodes that where like characters are just talking. These are important informations, but you also have to make talking interesting. But then like also you cannot just have like character talking episodes for 3 episodes. Like there has to be action somewhere between these episodes, so you have to also space it out. And sometimes there are like contexts you struggle to put in, because like the tempo of the story wouldn't be right. If it will feel draggy, if like things like that, like to consider, like there's a lot of things to consider, right?
Right.
So it's not just about like drawing like one thing anymore. It's a lot about like long-term thinking. That's why I feel like it's kind of also like a job, because you're doing a lot of strategies on this. You're planning a lot of things. Yeah, like I think it has definitely brought me into with art like closer. Yeah, but the closer you get to, the more you feel there's so much more you don't know.
So it's kind of like,
that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like the more that you're working on it, the more that you notice all the little details, and then the more that you keep spending more time on it. And it's just like a continuous cycle. Yeah,
the more I know, the more I realize how much I don't know. And then that just like never ending. And so I think it's just like which keeps it very interesting, right? Like there's always challenges. And I definitely experiment a lot of things on my comic. like having like, do you know the disco episode with the disco ball and Gemini?
I actually haven't caught up yet, but
Okay. But if you read
yeah,
that episode, that one is very experimental. You'll see.
I can't wait. I wanted to binge it before the interview, but I didn't get the
Uh-huh.
chance to. But
Oh, trust me, I never get a chance to binge other people's work either. I have tried, but then like it's always I have something else that's like very like has to be done.
Yeah, the only times that I get the opportunity to is during like during breaks
Yeah.
between school and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll probably start like reading an episode a day at least. But the problem with that is that then you run into a cliffhanger, and then like you have to read the next episode.
Yeah. I mean, I've been watching a Squid Game and I just like binge it in 2 days.
Yes. I was watching
Right?
Squid Game this week and I was not at my top performance this week.
Yeah.
Because I was spending so much time on Squid Game.
Yeah, but I'm allowed to because I'm actually in a break right now.
Yes, you were on vacation.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm actually also like writing season 3, so I thought like, watching more things will, motivate me to write as well. Like I need a lot of things to, like get my mind excited,
Yes.
and then so it starts working again.
Get the gears turning.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you believe attending art school helped you get to where you are now?
I think so, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Actually a huge part because my art school actually came with high school.
Ooh.
I don't know, like if you know that so in Taiwan we have a high school that's very famous called Fuxing Art and Trade and Art School, and I basically majored in fine art over there. So we get to learn a lot of like we learn different techniques like oil painting, different ways of painting oil painting as well, and also like basic sketching, like watercolor, like just like all these like those like traditional art forms. We also learn like art history, photography, silk printing. Silk printing is like used a lot in fashion, like you see like silk scarves. Like there's a traditional way of silk printing of like applying one color each time when layering it.
Are there any particular works that you're proud of that you worked on whenever you were in that industry?
You mean the video game industry?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
You were not proud of anything?
In the industry, I don't really have that much that I'm proud of. I mean, like, I think through the industry, I just learned a lot of things, like how to do animation in like a more professional way, and how to work as a team, and how to interact with people. These are the things I feel like I truly learned. And but what I'm proud of is actually my school project that I made in Vancouver Film School. That's the only game that I would say I'm very proud of. So I was doing the story writing and also designing like all the visuals, the concept, and we were working as we have 5 members in our team, and we created a game called Jinko or Ginkgo if you want to call it, but it's like these trees, right? So it's just about like this like bouncy like a mouse thing that was born from a ginkgo tree bouncing around. Every time she bounces, like the world changes and back to its healthy form, like the grass is green and like the flower blooms. So it's a very beautiful like a visual, like I don't know, it's just it's more like a game that I wanted to create it.
Is it?
Yeah, and there are like different monsters that we created, and we don't kill them, we just revive them. Yeah, there are turtles with diamonds on their back. That was like one of the characters I designed that I love the most.
So it gave you an opportunity to be very creative too. Is it at all playable, or is it just for the project?
I wonder if it's still playable because I remember we paid for the website. Couldn't remember the name, the website address.
Maybe one day it will resurface.
Yeah, but like I wonder if it's downloadable at Vancouver Film School's website, if they have a version that you can download to play. I remember there is, I'm not exactly sure, because like it's been so many years. It's over 10 years, so I don't know if they still have it.
I might see if I can find it.
Maybe I'll try to send it to you if I can like search for it.
What advice do you have for aspiring artists?
You mean for comic artists or just artists in general?
Comic artists, animators, video game developers. I mean, you've done so much.
I feel like they're all like so different. So their advice will all be different.
Let's focus on the comic artists then.
Okay, I would say like for comic artists, definitely try to enjoy your life to the most and try to experience different things. Don't just sit at home. Go out and experience life and talk to people, not just talking, but on a deeper level to understand why people think and try to stand at their perspective. I think that helps character building a lot, I think.
Absolutely.
For people to feel relate to, because you have to relate to the people around you, even if they have different beliefs, you know. I think what we don't have enough like right now in our era, especially in the US, I feel like it's like to stand in different people's perspective on looking on things and also just try to understand each other evenly, like respectfully. I think for some reason, like I think we need more of that. You know how a lot of people have like a huge story in mind and they want to draw it out one day?
Yeah, and then they never do.
I would say like you can put that aside and start something small, like short stories as practice. And actually, because I tried that and I really, really enjoyed the process, and that's why I kept doing it and I enter in contests. And it's very rewarding when someone reviews your work and then choose your work to be nominated, to give awards to, like, and you actually get feedback from these contests, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very good way to actually practice and also build your portfolio and see what are you actually missing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and keep finding the mistakes that you did and try to fix it next time through these like short stories. And eventually, if you have something like a longer stories that you want to create, you already have all the skills you need.
Yeah, that's very similar to one of my professors. I'm taking a couple creative writing classes because I'm minoring in creative writing, and one of my professors, like, his advice was to write short stories and to send them into publishing companies, and maybe like they'll reject you, but if you're lucky, you might get like some feedback even if they reject you.
Yeah.
And then from there you can just keep improving with your short stories, and eventually you'll be able to write like a bigger novel or something.
Yeah, exactly. But also I think a lot of times when we write stories, like sometimes we get like too serious about things. Like I have like exact vision, like how I want this to be, but sometimes if you let loose a little bit and like let the story grow on its own while you're like writing it, I don't know if that makes sense. It's very vague, but that's how I feel when I was writing the Witchinable. It's like a lot of times I try not to control it too much, and then some of the really interesting episodes happened because of it. Like the episode where they built a ship. That episode was episode 22. Yeah, they summoned Argo Navis.
Oh yes.
The ship. Yeah. So that was very spontaneous. Because I could have just like, you know, like write a simple story like, oh yeah, they got a ship from the villagers and so they sailed. But no, I was like, why? Like, there's a ship in the sky. Why don't we do that?
So some of the most imaginative moments of your story kind of come to fruition.
Yeah, it was just like something that the process of like making the comic was like one day, like one night, I was thinking that would be cool. That would be a cool thing, and it can be placed at this part of the storyline.
Lastly, do you happen to have a estimated date for when you'd like season 3 of The Witch in the Bowl to be released?
Well, somewhere in the winter time.
Winter 2021?
Maybe the end. Yeah, maybe the end of winter.
Oh, so like kind of almost into spring?
Yeah, kind of almost into spring. Because like last time so what I did wrong last time preparing the season 2 is that I didn't have enough booster episodes. And my life was a mess, and I was so stressed and I was dying inside. Because I was like, you know, like I like to like explain it like this. It's like, you know, like you like a person who loves running, like they will go out and run and like enjoy running, but they don't really enjoy running when there's someone holding a knife chasing them,
right?
Possibly running faster than them either. So
at that point, you're just like trying to escape.
Yes, I mean, as much as I love drawing, this is a lot of pressure. If any episode feels like short, it also might be because I don't have the ability to make it longer.
Mm-hmm. Because
I'm already like running out of time. And I'm also stressed.
Rightfully so. I don't blame you.
Yeah, and I also already missed out all the like the time with my friends on the weekends. So the last time I didn't do right is I didn't create enough booster episodes. I had 4, and then I think we used we used 3 in the beginning, and then I only have 1 left. So I only have 1 booster episode to start with, which it lasted for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then I started this like crazy cycle, like crazy like running and people chasing me with knives. Feel like the whole year is like that. Like not the whole year, I mean like the whole time I was creating season 2, it feels like that.
I wish you the best of luck, and I know I'm not the only one looking forward to season 3. Thank you so very much for the opportunity of interviewing you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
I can't wait to see what else you have in store for your fans.
Looking back on days gone by, gliding through life as a passerby. What did I want from those early days? Libertine pleasure or a will for pain? It doesn't make any sense.